What is going on, my Houston Texans family? Hope you guys are having a dry Monday. It is rainy out there. Be careful. We are days away from the NFL draft. Houston Texans first round pick 25. What are doing? We have no idea, but they are on the clock. Ladies and gentlemen, if you don't know where you are going to watch the draft for round one, look no further because me, Athletically Declined, and Dave and Buster's will be hosting a watch party at the Dave and Buster's Katy location. The address 7620 Katy Freeway, Suite 100, Houston, Texans 77024. Houston, Texas. I'm sorry, not Texans. That just goes to show or H-Town till we drown over here. But we got a lot of fun things stored, prizes, giveaways, our live draft show is going to be going on at the same time. We have a lot of Houston Texans content creators going to be in the building. John Hickman from Locked On Texans. We are going to have the group chat, Barrett and the boys. We're going to have H-Town Rundown with AD and his crew. You can't forget about Houston Stressins. It's going to be a whole event. Hey, even Texans on 3 podcasts are going to be there. With that being said, ladies and gentlemen, this Thursday, night one, round one, Dave and Buster's Katy location, Freeway Suite 100, full address 7620 Katy Freeway, Suite 100, Houston, Texans 77024. Now, without further ado, let's go ahead and jump into a Houston Texans 3-round mock draft. And, let me say this. I was asked how comfortable I am in the front office heading into this draft. Because it's important, ladies and gentlemen. You need to take advantage of these rookie contracts. In my opinion, you need 3 out of these top 4 picks in the top 100 to hit. And that is asking a lot. However, the Texans have history of their draft picks working out. Just look at last year. Kamari Lassiter, Kalen Bullock, rookies, day one impactful players. The year before that, Will Anderson Jr., CJ Stroud, day one impactful players. The year before that, Derek Stingley. The year before that, Nico Collins, Jalen Petrie. Nick Caserio, ladies and gentlemen, has hit on draft picks, and he's going to have to hit on these. The reason why I have a sense of urgency, if you want to call it a sense of urgency, or why I find this draft very important, because in the future, you're going to have to make Will Anderson Jr. a top 5 defensive paid player. In the future, you are going to have to make CJ Stroud the highest paid quarterback in the NFL, because if he has another 10-win season, a division championship, and another win in round one of the playoffs, and hopefully he gets 2 or 3 more wins, because we're not just satisfied with wild card victories. CJ Stroud's going to be the highest paid quarterback in the league. So what I mean is, we need to take advantage of these rookie contracts. We need day one impactful starters. And as I am looking at the board, I think this is a realistic, um, a realistic scenario here where Kelvin Banks, the tackle that we want, is gone because Minnesota needs a left tackle. We got their left tackle. We got Cam Robinson. Remember, they traded for him in the middle of the season. Available to you here: Walter Nolan, Luther Burden, Colston Loveland, Gray Zabel, Josh Connerly Jr. But like I mentioned many times before, I want to fix the O-line. And I think if this is how the board falls, it's between 3 guys. Look at Josh Simmons. Wow, Josh Simmons went before Kelvin Banks. I don't think that happens. I think it's going to be between Gray Zabel, Josh Connerly Jr., and Donovan Jackson on Thursday at pick 25. And if you're asking me who do I think the Houston Texans go with, I do think they go with Donovan Jackson out of the Ohio State. I think he's my safe pick. And I'm just gonna let y'all know right now. So if you're asking me who do you think goes at Dave and Buster's, I'm gonna say I think it's gonna be Donovan Jackson. But PFF says Jackson was the top interior offensive line recruit in the nation in 2021 and certainly didn't disappoint during his time in Columbus. He earned three first team All Big Ten selections, including 2024, where he moved to left tackle during the team's final 9 games and performed admirably. Now he stepped in for Josh Simmons. Jackson has a high floor with an ideal guard build and enough consistency to project as an NFL starter. While he isn't always the most dominant player on the field, his combination of footwork and technique could help just about any team looking for a starting caliber guard. 6'4", 320 pounds, 22 years old. He is projected as a day one starter, and I think that's where the Houston Texans go. If it's between Gray Zabel, Josh Connolly Jr., and Donovan Jackson. If Josh Simmons is there at 25, I still think Donovan Jackson might win that matchup. I don't know. I don't know. Like I said, I don't know what the hell the Houston Texans are going to do at pick 25, but we're taking Donovan Jackson, and he's now our new starting guard of the future. And unfortunately, ladies and gentlemen, because my goofy ass didn't realize I choose a draft limit review. PFF, get your stuff together. No worries, guys. Let's go to PFS. Thank y'all for the patience. And as I change to the screen right there, this is happening live. Wow. All right, here we go. For some reason, the team logos are not showing, but the Texans are on the clock. Here we go. That's my fault. I do apologize. All right, 25 for the Houston Texans. Here's who available to us. All right, Josh Simmons, Walter Nolan, Gray Zabel, Emeka Abuka, and for sure, I know Donovan Jackson is going to be there. Okay, so let's have the conversation once again. If at 25, Josh Simmons is there, Gray Zabel is there, and Donovan Jackson Jr. is there, who do the Houston Texans go with? When Josh Simmons, right, when you have the conversations with him, a lot of you guys are not wanting to touch him because of the injury that he suffered. And fair, that is absolutely fair. That injury, it has a winning record in terms of when you come back, you are not the same player that you were, because of how big the injury was. Now, it really hasn't stopped like people from mocking him to the Houston Texans at pick 25 because during his pro day just looked fantastic. However, I'm going to stick to what I said. I think that if the three are there, I think the Houston Texans are going to go with Donovan Jackson, guard out of the Ohio State. That is my safe pick. Um, I would not be upset at that at all. I think you have your starting left guard of the future, or move to right guard, or you can have Titus Howard compete for both spots at tackle. But the Texans take a step forward, and building back their offensive line. Not even building back, building their offensive line because it was so bad last year. All right, guys. Here we go. Pick 58 for the Houston Texans. We're not doing any trades. Kenneth Grant is available to us at 58. That's not going to happen. He is going to be, gone during the first round. Marion Hampton, I think, is going to be gone also. So what a draft if this does happen. Xavier Watts, safety out of Notre Dame. Jonas Savania, you guys know I love him. Quinshawn Junkins, RB out of Ohio State. Tate Ralledge, guard out of Georgia. Let's just say for the sake of argument, Kenneth Grant was there. I'm taking Kenneth Grant there. But realistically, guys, he won't be there unless we have a Laramie Tunsil situation. I know the Texans met with a lot of running backs, but do they take one in the second round? A lot of you guys say no because of how deep this RB class is. Do you go offensive line again? I wouldn't be mad at that at all. Do you go wide receiver? The Texans need a number two wide receiver. You look at someone like Jaden Higgins out of Iowa State. I don't think Trey Harris is available here on the board, but let's look at Jaden Higgins. He's 6'4", 214 pounds, 9.63 RAS. Jaden Higgins is a wide receiver known for his impressive size and reliable hands. After transferring from Eastern Kentucky to Iowa State, he recorded 87 receptions for 1,183 yards and 9 touchdowns in the 2024 season, earning second team All Big 12 honors. Higgins excels in contested catch situations, utilizing his frame to shield defenders and secure the ball effectively. He's also a stellar overall athlete at 6'4", 213 pounds. With eye-catching explosiveness and seam stretching strides, on tape, Higgins has enough nuance and foot speed to separate on more rudimentary routes, but his lacking hip sync and flexibility does limit his route variance and consistency against press. As a movement Z or big slot receiver, he can make his money with strong hands, chain moving conversions, and explosive rack. Would not mind Jaden Higgins at all in the second round. The Texans desperately need themselves a wide receiver two of the future. You got your wide receiver one. That is Nico Collins. Hopefully, you have your wide receiver two, Tank Dell, next year. I don't think he's going to play this season. Third round, here we go. But I would not mind that pick at all. Who is on the board here? Marcus Mbo, offensive tackle out of Purdue. I don't see him being available to us. TJ Sanders, defensive tackle out of South Carolina. Absolutely. The Houston Texans have also met with TJ Sanders. Alfred Collins, defensive tackle out of Texas. Now, this one I think is a possibility because he's met with the Houston Texans. Alfred Collins has we another reason why I think there's a real possibility is because we know that this is going to be a heavy offensive draft. But D'Amico Ryans has to get his one defensive player in the top, in the top 100. You have four selections. Keep on adding to this already Super Bowl caliber defense. Alfred Collins, defensive tackle to Texas, has has enzymatic. Someone help me out there. He has qualities as a 2025 NFL draft prospect. He accumulated just 7 career sacks in 5 seasons at Texas, and as expected, he struggles to attack independently on pass rushing downs. Despite his physical tools, however, he is extremely effective as a run defender, perhaps the most effective in his class. His style will not suit every team, but Collins has high floor in the run game. Combined with his athletic upside, makes him an extremely compelling day two investment. At 6'5", 332 pounds with long levers for arms, Collins is a pure space eater who also has the explosiveness to reset the line and hit blockers with jarring power. He can slap blocks, stack and shed with violence, and snuff out carries, and his power profile and motor imply untapped potential on later downs. That screams to me D'Amico Ryans. That screams to me Swarm. Now, ladies and gentlemen, let's go to our final pick in the third round. Thank you for being there with me. Love you guys. Hope you are having a blessed Monday, a rainy Monday, but here we go. Now, we've addressed Donovan Jackson, offensive line of the first round. Jaden Higgins, wide receiver, Iowa State. And Alfred Collins, defensive tackle out of Texas. I definitely want to look at the offense here. Dylan Fairchild just seems to always be there for me in the third round. Now, Dylan Fairchild out of Georgia is a powerful and technically sound offensive lineman with the versatility to excel at guard or tackle. Known for his physicality and aggression, he can at times be over aggressive, which he can hurt his technique and position. And nevertheless, Fairchild's quick feet and balanced stance make him effective in pass protection, where he handles speed rushers and ankles well against power. He also has a high football IQ and some projected positional flexibility. Having been a two-way player in high school, Fairchild can be a bit stiff at times when redirecting laterally, but as a blocker with a solid baseline mobility, power, and strength, as well as 24 starts against NCC competition to his name, he profiles as a respectable middle round ad. He could potentially be a starter for you later as the season is going, as you get into the playoffs. But ladies and gentlemen, if the Texans left the first three rounds with Donovan Jackson, Jaden Higgins, Alfred Collins, and Dylan Fairchild, I would be ecstatic. I would say you potentially have three day one starters in Donovan Jackson as your, let's just say, right guard. Alfred Collins, I think, is going to start alongside of Sheldon Rankins. And Jaden Higgins is going to be out there as your wide receiver too. And who's to say Dylan Fairchild doesn't sneak his way in there? These SEC guards, man, they're good. With that being said, ladies and gentlemen, for more Houston Texans content, you guys know what to do. Follow me for more. If you want to see the NFL draft live with me, you guys know what to do. Dave and Buster's. Do me a favor. Have a blessed day. I love you guys. Go Texans. Be safe.